Well, hi folks, 10th of February now, so it's about time to start chitting my potatoes and to start planting a few little pots of them for some early new potatoes. So we'll just have a quick waffle about chitting first. Do you need to do it? What's the benefits of it? Why do we do it? Well, it's not essential to do, but let's say for instance these seed potatoes have just arrived now. I'm going to plant these without chitting them because they're ready to plant now. But I'm going to be planting the rest of them in about mid-April outside. So if I wasn't to chit these, and I was just going to leave these in a bag in the dark or something until they were planted out in mid-April, then they would produce big white spindly shoots and be absolutely useless. So one of the main reasons for chitting them, apart from the fact that they grow little sprouts and get away a little bit quicker, is basically for preservation. Because like I said, you know, by the middle of April, these, if I just left them in a bag as they came through the post, then they'd be rubbish. So that's one of the reasons why we do chit some potatoes if you get your spuds late. Now these are some of my ones that I've kept from last year, which I'm going to be using. Quite small, these are the Blue Danube. Likewise, they're just starting to sprout now, but if I'd have left these in the box they were stored in the dark, come April, they'd have been the same big, long, spindly shoots because they're searching for the light. So not only will it give them a head start when they start growing, but it's, like I said, it's another way to preserve them. So to chit or not to chit, if you get your seed potatoes late, you don't need to chit, obviously. There's not enough time to do it anyway. But if you get your seed potatoes sent really early, 2 or 3 months before they need to be planted, then you must chit them really, because otherwise they will get all spindly. So chitting, all they do is just, I just use an egg box. I'm going to plant some of these, but basically just you can look for the sprouts that come in there. They're just starting to come from the little eyes. Put them in a tray or an egg box with the eyes upwards, and then just keep them somewhere frost free and bright and quite cool, and then slowly the little sprouts will start appearing, and then when you're ready to plant them out they should be good to go. So like I said, couldn't be easier. Just plonk them in a little tray and just leave them to slowly start sprouting in some bright, cool place. So that's chitting anyway. So what I'm going to do now, I'm going to plant a few really early new potatoes like I've done for the last few years. And I'm going to be using even smaller pots this year because I've only got these. These are 10 litre pots. I'm going to put 2 seed potatoes in. They're quite big actually, these. These are Nicola variety, new potato. I'm just going to use bog standard multi-purpose compost. This is some of this Jack's Magic stuff. Nothing fancy. So I'm just going to put maybe 2 inches of compost in the bottom, and then for each of these 10 litre pots, I'm just going to put 2 seed potatoes in. I'm going to actually try. I'll just try and get a knife. I'm going to do a comparison. Because these are quite big seed potatoes, they've got an awful lot of sprouts on. So 2's probably too many. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to cut the odd one in half, and I'm going to plant 2 halves of 1 potato and see what the resultant yield is. So I've just cut it in half, and what I'm going to do with that, I'm not going to plant that straight away. I'm going to let this sort of heal over. If you leave it in the air like that for a couple of days, it will heal over and dry over and sort of form a scab, and then we'll give it a go. We'll plant 2 halves of 1 potato versus 2 seed potatoes, and we'll see if there's any difference in the yield. So like I said, I'm just going to plant these. The sprouts are all over these, but just plant them with the sprouts facing upwards, a couple of inches from the bottom, and simply all I'm going to do is just fill this right to the top. And I'm going to keep this in this building here, which is quite warm, to try and get them off to as quick a start as I can. Give them a little bit of a watering in. I'll just put a little bit of fertiliser in. This is actually specialist onion fertiliser, but it's as good for potatoes as it is for onions. So I'm just going to put a little bit in, just a tiny little scoop. Just mix that in to the sort of middle of the compost. And then, like I said, just top it right up. 10 litre pots, so these are, last year I did them in 15 litre pots, 2 seed potatoes, so we'll see how many we get out of these 10 litre pots. we get the same, then it's not bad, because we're using 30% less compost. So like I said, all I'm going to do with these now is just keep them in this room, and then as soon as they start to sprout from the top, I'll move them into the greenhouse, make sure that they don't get any frost by covering them in fleece, and then just hopefully keep watering them. And after about 90 days, like last year, I did manage to get a few potatoes. Only a small amount, like a couple of pounds or something, but it's always nice to get some really early. And then we'll do a test and we'll see if there's any difference between planting 2 big seed potatoes or chopping 1 seed potato in half. I mean, really, I could have just planted 1 seed potato. Chopping it in half is not going to make a lot of difference, but we'll see how we get on anyway. So that's it, folks. That's planting some of the early seed potatoes this year. Little test with two chopped in half, and then we'll see how we get on in about 3 months' time. So that's it. First seed potatoes chitted, and the first little pots of new potatoes up and going. That's about it, folks. See you later.